Hey guys, it's Tiffany once again with another episode of Meet the Trainers. And for this episode, the trainer you will meet is me. Um, my name is Tiffany Johnson. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I am an attorney and a reformed anti-gunner. And one of the things that helped me to overcome my initial fears of guns is good instruction, good teachers, and trainers who really understood the dynamics of adult learning. So I have tried to pay that forward by learning to be an instructor myself and bringing some of my background in the real world, I guess, in the rest of my life, bringing all of that background to what I'm doing here in the training world. So, as I said, I'm an attorney, but I don't really litigate cases anymore, don't represent clients. Instead, where my career trajectory has taken me was actually down a path of training and teaching. So, in my last job, I was director of training at a law firm. In the job before that, I taught 5 classes a year or a semester in a legal studies program at my local university, and I coordinated that program. One of the biggest accomplishments that we had while I was at the helm as program coordinator was to transition all of our on-ground coursework to fully online coursework. And there was a stepping stone in the middle where we offered hybrid coursework. And so through that, I learned a great deal about how to design and deliver effective online training. And I'm hoping to share some of that with you in my class at TacCon. So this class is called 10 Tips for Effective Online Teaching. And, if I were the I told you so type, I would be wagging my finger right now at a lot of folks who pre-pandemic would have said, oh, there's no place in the firearms training world for online training. Well, here we are. I've been saying it for years. There's always a place for online training. It's not apples to apples, so of course you can't do everything online. You can't shoot online, for example. But if you're teaching classes that only involve shooting, then that may be a whole separate issue that we'll want to discuss. Hopefully, you're teaching a lot more than just the physical act of pressing the trigger on the range. And all of that, anything short of actually firing a handgun or any kind of firearm, can be taught online. Now, what I hear a lot is, well, we lose the interactive component, or I'm not able to be hands-on, or I can't really talk to my students online the way I would in person. And I would argue, yeah, you can. Again, it's not apples to apples, not exactly the same, but with a little bit of creativity, a little bit of patience with yourself and with technology, because technology always takes patience. I think it can be done. And not only can it be done, I think online instruction in the firearms training world is essential, is critical to our survival. And, at the risk of sounding a little melodramatic, it's probably critical to the survival of the Second Amendment, because forthcoming generations know nothing but digital conversation. They know nothing but the digital sphere. They know nothing but remote communication. And so if we refuse to get on that train, then we are going to be left behind at the train station. So that's the impetus behind 10 tips for online teaching, effective online teaching, because of course there is an ineffective way to do it, and there are some best practices that I want to share with you. We'll talk about things like, AV materials, how to keep that level of engagement that you like to have in your in-person classes. We'll talk a little bit about technology and the different platforms that are available. What's the difference, for example, between WebEx and BlueJeans and Zoom and Google Meet and all those different options that you have. And what kind of safety measures should you put in place for an online class? How does online delivery affect what you should include in your liability waiver, for example? Just things like that. We're going to touch on as much as we can in the 2-hour time block. And I'm really excited to deliver this material because, I know what it feels like to seem to be out of your element, because I am, as a reformed anti-gunner, as a reformed anti-gunner, I can't talk today. I am not a native to the firearms training community, just like many of us are not natives to the digital community. And I think that we can bring those diverse perspectives all together and learn from each other in hopefully this 2-hour block. So wish me luck. And if you want to do even better than that, you can come to the block. I am delivering 10 tips for effective online training at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon in Classroom 1. And if you can, bring an internet connected device. Your smartphone, if it's got Wi-Fi. You don't necessarily need a laptop, but if you want to bring your laptop, fine. We're going to try a lot of really hands-on kind of practical tips and tools, and I'll try and give you the step-by-step nuts and bolts of how to do this. And you too can take your class online. And believe me, there are benefits not just for instructional design and for the quality of your training programs, but also for your reach. Because when you train online, you can reach anybody anywhere in the world who has an internet connection. And it also can work wonders for your bottom line because the overhead is much, 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 much lower for online classes than it is for on-ground classes. So just a few sneak peeks. I hope to see you there. Thanks so much, and see you in Dallas.